Pisces, welcome in. I hope you're doing well. So we're going to do a quick moon cycle spread. We want to take a look at what is blocking you. So we'll take a look at, what your intentions are, what your motivation is. We'll see what the blockage is, try and get a little more detail on it, and then see by the full moon, are you celebrating success on this manifestation or intention? Or if you can at least celebrate some steps towards the goal. All right, so let's get in for Pisces. You can have any placement in Pisces. It doesn't have to be just your sun, moon, rising, or your Venus. We all embody all 12 signs of the zodiac. Each one of our houses occupies a zodiac sign. So, what's going on for Pisces? Ooh. Felt like something was getting away from you. All right. Ooh, the star. The Hierophant. The Hermit. 3 majors. Whoo! The Magician. Holy cow. Every single major. Wow. This is a major life shift for you, right? We all can go through major phases and shifts in our life, right? When you're born, right? That's a major milestone. When you go into school, right? College, getting married, these are major life shifts. All cards here. So let's start off with a star. It feels very much like you are ready to heal. It's like you want to heal so you can go after something that you want. Okay. The blockage is the Hierophant. So the question is, I think the blockage is for you. Is your higher self ready to commit to this healing so you can then go after what this dream is that you want? Are you really ready to commit to it? It's kind of like maybe you're probably a little back and forth on it. To get more details or the breakdown, we've got the Hierophant. Well, that is, the Hermit. That is very much healing. It is a solo journey. Getting enlightenment within. It looks like you just need to have more healing. So I don't know what full moon you'll be able to celebrate. This could be, a few months away. It could very well be a month from now. It all depends on how much healing you do and how much you go within and ask yourself, am I ready to commit to what this is? By the full moon, we have the Magician. That's your manifestations, right? That is what your thoughts are will come to fruition. So we always want to be mindful of what our thoughts are when we're manifesting. Because especially right now, today is the summer solstice. And so it's the longest day of the year. And what we focus on can very easily manifest. So right now, there's probably a lot going on in the news. There's a lot going on social media. You know, you're probably seeing a lot of chaos, but if you're staying away from it and you're keeping your peace, you're getting out in nature, you're staying away from anything that can influence you in one way or another. The Hierophant is very much about our beliefs. So you want to be very mindful, especially today. And I'm doing this reading on June 21st, is the summer solstice, longest day of the year. So you're definitely going to want to be mindful about staying clear of anything that's going to change your own beliefs, which is very much part of the Hierophant as well. Let's dig in and get a little more on this. This is a major thing for you right now, though. With all these majors. So real quick, the signs are Aquarius, we have Taurus, we have Virgo, and we have Gemini and Virgo again. So we've got a mix of thoughts and reality. Earth, very tangible, being very grounded. So by quick glance, to me, it's keeping your thoughts grounded is very important at this time. Just wanted to bring that up. Whoa. We got a couple of... want to fly out. Interesting. Okay. So let's go to the star, please. Let's get more details on the star. We've got the Hermit again, another major. What? Very much. You're definitely, I feel, dedicated to your healing. Temperance, another major, by the way, Sagittarius energy, and very much a healing card. So, you know, temperance is time. And so this is taking a lot of time for you to heal. I don't know what this healing's about. King of Cups. You know, the King of Cups is very balanced with their emotions. And sometimes they hold back. You could be healing yourself and learning to open back up to your feelings instead of holding them back. In this card, this guy, you probably can't see it, his eyes are kind of closed. Like, I don't want anybody to see within me, right? I don't want anybody to be able to read me, see who I am, see what my feelings are. And it's very much, I feel, you're learning to be open about your feelings And this has taken some time for you. All right, so what is this Hierophant? I think you just might be somebody who's very uncomfortable about showing your feelings, being authentic about what it is you feel, what you don't feel. Whoa. So we've got the Nine of Swords, Page of Pentacles, the Five of Swords. So the blockage here, give me 1 second. Let me pause you real quick. Okay, Pisces, sorry about that. I might need you to pause you again. I'm washing my dog's bed with blankets, and the way the bed is, you can't get the washer evened out. So when it does that spin cycle, it wants to like bang until it gets like balanced out. Anywho, so clarifying the Hierophant, you've got the Knight of Swords, you've got the Page of Pentacles, and you've got the Five of Swords. It feels very much like it's not necessarily your blockage. It's you blocking out any new opportunity, I feel, for love, right? Because we've got the King of Cups here, where you're shutting your emotions down because you're still very much healing. And I feel with the Five of Swords, it's either you are still caught up in your head over what happened in a previous relationship that you're very much healing from, and it's taken a little bit more time. So it's like you have offers rushing in, but your mind is not quite there. So you're not quite ready to take on another commitment quite yet. And that's okay, because everybody heals in their own time. What's interesting is that you are very much dedicated to your healing, which is the right thing. So just because offers rush in, because maybe, when you are healing, there's a light about you because you illuminate this independence, right? Because you've got the Hermit twice and Temperance. So it's a lot of healing. So you're probably coming across as very mysterious to people because they're like, what's going on with Pisces? I want to know what are they doing? Because you're very much independently on your own, doing things on your own. And that's because you're healing. You do not want to commit to any other opportunities until you are ready. So the Five of Swords, I'm not sure. I feel like it could be you in your own mind, maybe down talking yourself because maybe you came out of a relationship where there was mental manipulation. And so you're still kind of caught up in that manipulation and worried. So that right there is giving you the cue. No, you're not ready to commit to any offers that are rushing in because they're attracted to your mystery right now. And it's not even really that it's a mystery. It's you are genuinely focusing on yourself and healing from what had happened. So let's go to this Hermit, because this is very much the healing again. And this is the breakdown and more details. So let's get a little more on this healing. Ooh. The Knight of Wands. We have a King of Wands in the reverse. The Star again. Man, you cannot make this up. The Majors. Star twice. Hermit twice. This feels very much like you've been very much used to. This is telling me you're healing from a King of Wands, could be. No, I'm not going to say that. No. You're healing from a King of Wands that came in, rushed in, Knight of Wands passionately. But with the King of Wands in reverse, they were using their passion in an incorrect way, at least for you. Okay, because you're coming off as a King of Cups, very emotional. That's, relationship oriented. It's very much love oriented. You were dealing with a King of Wands in the reverse that was very much all about just a roll in the hay, the passion, and they would come in and leave. But when they left, they always left you hurting because that's all they came in for. So they didn't come in correctly with their passion in a correct way where it's a loving passion. It was just straight up, I'm here for one thing and one thing only. I'm coming in and then I'm coming back. I'm leaving. Just as soon as I get what I want, I'm leaving. And this left you in a state of healing because I think you genuinely love this person, but they always acted just through the loins, and that's not what you were looking for. So when people are rushing in to talk to you, right, with offers, you are very much in your head thinking, oh, that's all they want. It's just talk, right? This offer's just talk. So it brings you back into your thought pattern of what has happened with a King of Wands who just came at you in a passionate manner and then would rush back out. All right, so what about the Magician? So I feel like I could be wrong, but this is, hey, let's be mindful during the full moon or even today, the summer solstice, of our thoughts. King of Swords, your thoughts, keeping your thoughts in check, right? Being very authentic, right? Being ethical. Ace of Wands, right? There's the passion. You do not want to get caught up with somebody who's just about flirting, who just wants to come in. Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, you want to take things slow, right? You want to make sure that whatever offers still come into you, you're taking your time, okay? Because you've done a lot of healing. You're still healing. But you want to make sure that whoever's coming in, you want to make sure that it's not just about the flirting, the passion, the sexting, right? A lot of that goes on. You want to take it slow to make sure it doesn't go back down that road. And that's by the full moon. So your healing journey has been very much correct. It has been very much on point. I commend you for everything that you've been doing because Pisces, you are very romantic. You're very dreamy. You're compassionate, and you can also be an escapist. And you may have gotten lost in the past to a King of Wands who just came in, because here you're empathetic, you're dreamy, you're probably very attractive, you're probably very colorful, like a peacock, and you're having a lot of people that are very attracted to that. And that's okay, as long as you know what you're manifesting in, and you're manifesting in slow and steady, somebody who is planning on sticking around, who is very much grounded in their passion, not the knight who's quick to come in and out. You want somebody who comes in with their passion, slow, steady, dates, right? Nothing that's too quick when it comes to the passion. And you want to make sure that what they're saying is true, is authentic, is ethical, right? They're not just talking from their loins. So everything you're doing is correct. And by the full moon, again, we're all on different timelines. I don't know if it's the next full moon or 3 months down the road. It just kind of depends. I will say the Pisces I'm talking to has done a lot of healing, has gone down and gotten enlightenment on knowing that whoever enters your life isn't just about the talk. They're talking from a mature level, not a King of Swords level, where it's can be quick, right? They're coming in, with all these offers, but yet, could be manipulative, right? You've already dealt with that. You don't want to deal with that again. So this is actually a big deal for you. So let's get an emotional card here. Let's get an emotional card and see where you're at, or where, you've come from. All I know is you've done a lot of solid healing, and you know what you want. So by the full moon, your thoughts are correct. Your manifestations will be correct, because you know what you want, you know what you don't want, you know what you've been through, you've healed from it. Ambivalence. It's the inner tug of war between different choices, leaving you torn when making decisions. When you feel ambivalence, it reminds you to face your inner needs. Finding the balance will allow you to make the choice that aligns with your true self. You already know what you want. You may have had the inner tug of war with all these options rushing at you because you're so handsome, you're so beautiful, you're this peacock, you're glowing because of all the work you've done. And people want that beautiful healed light, right? Even the ones that are coming in with the incorrect intentions. And so you, my friend, have been struggling with how to keep away the people that are just rushing in with all the talk, just rushing in with all the passion, how to keep them at bay so you can allow. So it is a fine line. Let me just say this. It is a fine line when you know what you want and you know what you don't want. And it's that fine line of holding up the boundary against the people who are just about coming in because you're beautiful. They want to, be another notch in the belt, right? That kind of thing. It's very hard to keep the block up, but to make sure you don't have a block up that blocks in the people who want to come in correctly. It is a fine line and it is a balancing act. And so that is probably what you're going through right now, is the tug of war of, how do I keep away the people that are just coming in for the passion, when I want somebody who's going to come in, take their time with me, who's going to love me, who's going to be ethical, treat me like the person I should be treated, even though you might be this gorgeous or handsome person who's healed and glowing, right? You're still, moths are still attracted to light. They're still attracted to flame. And so you're struggling with that right now. And so you know what aligns with you. So I think what this would be saying is, keep yourself open, right? Don't hold up so much of the blockage. Keep yourself open, but be strong enough to say no when you know somebody's moving too fast passionately, right? Keep yourself open, but say no to somebody who's trying to rush getting you into the bedroom. Because if they're not right for you, they will scurry off and they'll go to the next one. Meanwhile, if the right one's ready to stick around, they're going to come in slow. They're going to take their time. They're going to go at your pace and they're going to stick around, right? The Knight of Pentacles is slow, is practical, but they're going to get where they need to get. They're not going to run away. They're solid. They're on a path. They're going to stick to that path, and they're going to stick to that path with you, right? The passion is going to stick around and not roll out on you. So Pisces, this is a great reading. You've done so much healing. You know who you are. You're just at this fine balance of keeping yourself open and allowing these opportunities to at least come towards you, but knowing when to shut them down if they're there for not the correct reasons of love, which is what you want. You want the balance of love and harmony, right? You want passion, but that's not all you want. And you, my friend, you already know you don't want people coming in these slick willies, right? You've already healed from it. The star, hermit. You've learned. So I hope this was helpful. I hope it resonated. If it did, make sure you subscribe, share, like, comment. All that helps get this out to everybody else who's on the same timeline as you. And I love you guys. And until the next one, I love you. I'll talk to you soon.